Hey everyone, welcome back. Thanks for joining us today. I've got a story for you that's going to keep you glued to your screen, so let's dive right in. Meet Jake, a 38-year-old cop. Most of his days are spent patrolling the streets with his partner, Alex. They're like the dynamic duo from Bad Boys. Jake is the steady one, while Alex brings the humor. Their bond goes beyond work. They're like brothers, watching each other's backs while keeping the city safe. But being on the streets all day has its downside. Jake's personal life, especially his marriage to Sarah, started to take a hit. Sarah was 35 when they got married, and though Jake's job kept him away more than he liked, he always tried to make up for it. He'd take her out, plan little surprises, anything to keep their love alive. But balancing the demands of work and home was getting harder. Lately, Jake noticed something different about Sarah. She was spending more time away from home, often staying out late after work. One evening, after a long day, Jake decided to talk to her about it. "Sarah, I've noticed you've been out a lot more lately. Is everything okay?" he asked, trying to sound concerned rather than accusatory. Sarah hesitated, then sighed. "It's just been really stressful at work. I needed some time to clear my head. I didn't want to worry you with it." Jake wanted to believe her, to trust that she was just dealing with work stress. "I understand. Just know I'm here for you. Okay? We're a team." But things didn't improve. Sarah kept going out, and the strain on their relationship was becoming obvious. Jake felt increasingly frustrated, especially when their rare moments together were cut short by her plans with friends. It was like she was slipping away from him, and he didn't know how to pull her back. One weekend, hoping to reconnect, Jake planned a day for just the two of them. But Sarah told him she had plans with her friends. Again, it was becoming routine, and Jake felt more alone than ever. One evening, after another one of her outings, Jake couldn't hold it in any longer. "Sarah, I've been trying to be understanding, but it feels like we're growing apart. I miss you, and it's affecting us," he said, his voice a mix of frustration and sadness. Sarah seemed defensive. "Jake, I need space. Time with my friends isn't about us. It's about me needing a life outside of our relationship." Jake tried to understand, but it was clear they were drifting apart. The tension at home was unbearable, and Jake suggested couples counseling, hoping it might help them find their way back to each other. But then, everything changed. One day, while Sarah was in the shower, her phone buzzed with a message. Jake wasn't snooping, but the notification caught his eye. Curiosity got the best of him, and he picked up the phone. What he found shook him to his core: explicit messages from an unknown number. The words were intimate, far beyond what Jake could brush off as a joke. It was like a punch to the gut. His heart raced, anger and betrayal surging through him. That evening, Jake tried to stay calm as he confronted Sarah. "Sarah, I saw some messages on your phone. They were pretty explicit. What's going on?" Sarah looked shocked, stammering as she tried to downplay it. "It's just a friend from work joking around. It doesn't mean anything." But Jake couldn't shake the feeling that something was very wrong. He was a cop. His instincts were telling him there was more to this than she was admitting. Days passed, and Jake's suspicion only grew. He couldn't let it go. Finally, he took a drastic step. He decided to take a leave from work and follow Sarah. He needed to know the truth, no matter how painful it might be. What he discovered was worse than he could have imagined. One evening, Jake followed Sarah to a bar. There, in the parking lot, he saw her with another man. They were too close, too intimate. Jake's heart sank as he watched them together, his hand instinctively reaching for his service weapon. But he stopped himself. Sarah wasn't worth the ammo. The shock and anger drove Jake to do something he never thought he'd do. He installed spyware on Sarah's phone. He knew it was wrong, but he needed proof, something concrete to end the nightmare. What he found was beyond anything he could have prepared for. Sarah had an active profile on Tinder, marked as unmarried. The messages with this new guy made it clear. He had no idea she was married, let alone to a cop. Jake confided in Alex, who tried to calm him down. "Jake, you've got all the evidence you need. It's time to get out before you do something you'll regret." Jake agreed, and the next day, He met with a lawyer to start divorce proceedings. But fate had one more cruel twist in store. Later that evening, Jake and Alex were on patrol when they spotted a red Toyota speeding. They pulled the car over, and as Jake approached, his heart sank. Sarah was in the passenger seat, and her new guy was behind the wheel. Jake kept his cool. "License and registration," he said, his voice steady. The guy fumbled, admitting he didn't have them on him. Jake asked both of them to step out of the car. As he frisked the guy, he asked, "How long have you known this woman?" "A few weeks," the guy replied, looking nervous. "That's my wife," Jake said calmly. The guy was stunned, shaking his head. "I didn't know. I'm sorry." Jake nodded, trying to hold back the flood of emotions. "You can go. You're not the one who betrayed me." The guy handed Sarah her things, apologized again, and drove off. Jake turned to Sarah, unable to hold back anymore. "How could you do this to me?" Sarah tried to speak, but Jake cut her off. "I've wasted 7 years on this. Call your mom to pick you up. We're done." Jake walked back to the patrol car, his heart heavy but resolved. The divorce was finalized soon after, and Jake threw himself back into his work, keeping the streets safe. Maybe one day he'd find love again. But for now, his focus was on rebuilding his life piece by piece. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this story, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more. See you next time.